Let's go. The LSU Tigers are college baseball's national champions for the 8th time in program history. It's Locked on LSU. Let's get wild, y'all.
You are Locked on LSU, your daily podcast on the LSU Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Okay, let's get it. It is Locked on LSU, your team every day. I'm your host, Matt Moscona. Thanks so much for making us your first listen. We are free, available wherever you get podcasts, of course, on YouTube as well. So please subscribe. As always, one of the fastest ways to help us grow is by leaving your comments below. So thank you sincerely for that. What a day, y'all. What an incredible day. I am so pleased and blessed and thrilled to be sharing this moment with you here right now. As promised, I'm doing the pool jump. I told you it was coming. For everybody who wondered, who was out there wondering if we were going to be here, yes, I'm a man of my word. I told you months ago that if the Fighting Tigers did, in fact, finish this thing off in Omaha at the College World Series, we would do the pool jump. As promised, I have my Rip Van Winkle 10-year. I have my Bocock Brothers premium cigars with the LSU signature J. Johnson series ready to be lit up. Guess what? That national championship number right there, we're adding another one to it, and I can't wait to light one of these things up and pour a glass and celebrate this national championship with all of you. So thank you sincerely for being here with us. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you're notified whenever we post a new video. Okay. There's so much I want to delve into here. We're going to talk about a ton. I'll be here for as long as y'all want to be here. All right. That's my promise I've been making y'all. It's 100 degrees outside. I don't care. I may take several pool plunges today. I'm still fully clothed. I'm plunging fully clothed. I'm waiting for enough people to get on board here so we can do it. I'm fired up for this. They all hit a little differently, man. And this is the 8th one. And I have been blessed enough to be old enough to see all 8 and to have memories of all 8. All right. All right, wait. Hold on. All right. Colin's calling me out. He said, you said you drink the Pappy out the bottle. Okay. I'll do it. I'll drink it out of the bottle. I do have a Glencairn here to drink if I want to pour, but the only reason that I will absolutely drink out of the bottle. Okay. The only reason why I was going to pour is because I realized I have more in this bottle than I did in the Lot B 12-year 2 years ago. That was near the end, so I just finished off that bottle. I'm not finishing that bottle sitting out here right now tonight, but now this is not a bad idea as well. Scott wants to see 8 pool jumps. Maybe we do 8 pool jumps over the course of the show, however it may go. But man, I'm fired up to be here. You know, I'm old enough at 42. I'll be 43 in a few weeks. Sean said we could help you finish it. I bet you could. Y'all, I'm blessed enough, as I know many of you are, to be old enough to have seen all 8 and to have different memories associated with all of them. You know, man, in 1991, I was just a kid, and that was, I know for every one of us has different memories of it, but, you know, in 91, LSU football was in the midst of a 6 straight losing season run, which is hard to believe now, but was reality. And if you grew up loving baseball, and I know many of you do, you know, you get John just said he was in the Navy in 91, you know, everybody's got a different memory, but to have been old enough to know what was happening and to see your team win a championship for the first time in anything was incredible. I mean, the Saints were awful. Actually, 91 was Dome Patrol era, but they didn't win a playoff game, let alone a title. And LSU football wasn't any good, and that's why people gravitated toward Dale, Shaq, Chris Jackson, the basketball program, and of course what Skip was building in baseball because they went to Omaha in 86 for the first time, but it took the fifth time before Skip finally won it. I mean, he went and lost in 86, 87, 89, 90 before finally winning it in 91. Then he never lost again. Well, they lost in 98, but they never lost a championship game again. And then 93, I shared that story on yesterday's episode for those that were able to catch it, watching Brett Laxton. It was 12 years old and watched Brett Laxton strike out 16, an 8-0 championship game, a complete game shutout in a championship, something I never thought I'd see surpassed. Warren Morris's home run, I was laying in my bed with a heating pad on my back watching Warren Morris. A year later in 97, Danny Higgins leads the national championship game off with a home run. They never relented. Doug Thompson finished it off, fired his glove in the air. 2000, I was in Omaha for the entire College World Series. So blessed to have been there to see every game of that College World Series, not just LSU, but every game of the entire series with my dad, my brother, my friend, who's no longer with us. I cherish those memories. I was covering the 09 team when they won it all, which was incredible to see. And then, the long drought in our minds anyway, between 09 and 23. I mean, a 14-year drought. Many of us never thought we'd see a drought that long. So, to see Skeens and Cruz and Morgan and Tanks and that was just such a talented team that may go down as the most talented LSU baseball team ever. And to win it the way they did, coming out of the losers bracket, was just awesome. And then this team ended up being a steamroller in the postseason. And they took their draw, and Jay managed it absolutely perfectly, especially considering the rain delay and how they had to handle it and came out of it. And it was a brilliant job. And to see now 2 in the last 3 years, the second one for Jay Johnson. Jay Johnson is now this is the fastest a coach has ever gotten to multiple titles with a school. He's got 2 in his first 4 years. That's never happened. So, 2 in the last 3 years, but 2 in his first 4 years. No one's ever done that before. So, if you're trying to put context around what this is right now, it's amazing to think Jay Johnson just did something that has never, ever been done. So, we're going to wax poetic. I'm going to do this. Let's do this first. Everybody, wherever you are, raise your glass. I got my bottle of Old Rip 10-year, my Van Winkle 10-year, as promised. I'm going to pool jump. I'm fully clothed. I'm going to pool jump. I'm going to take a shot of this first. So let's all raise our glasses. If you do the thing like we used to do on Whiskey and Wine where you screenshot, would love to see you do that as well. Share it out with us. Let's take screen grabs of the pool jump. I'm telling you, it's coming right now. The pool jump is coming. So the Tigers, for the 8th time in program history, are the national champions of college baseball 2025. Congrats to Jay Johnson, this amazing team. Kate Anderson, Anthony Eyanson, amazing starting pitching performances. Jared Jones, what a rally back after an 0-for-5 with 5 strikeout performance just 8 days ago. Some incredible performances. Michael Braswell, despite the offensive struggles, comes up today with a single and a walk, gets on base twice, and a few more stellar defensive plays. I can go up and down the list, but the bottom line is Monster Milam was awesome. Derek Curiel, for a freshman, was absolutely amazing. Congrats to every single member of this team. Chase Shores to close it out. Kason Evans as a freshman having the role he did. Zach Cowan, when you had to have it. Zach Cowan went out there and shoved after having really struggled for the last 4 of his last 5 outings. Just an amazing performance by these Tigers to win a national championship. So cheers. Go Tigers, national champs. Some people may say that the Van Winkles are overrated, and I say they're foolish. It hits every single time. All right, let's do it, y'all. Here we go for Natty number 8. Go Tigers! Woo! Let's go! Woo! Yeah! My neighbor, Mr. Mike, out there was waiting on it. All right. By the way, respect to the Alon apparel. Woo! There it was. Go Tigers, y'all. Championship number 8. Now it's time to light up a Bocat Brothers premium cigar and have a hell of a time talking about this game, this team. I might even pool jump a couple more times. Someone just said rip shoes. You know what? They're my Icy Whites. By the way, I love these shoes. My Icy White Air Force Ones. They're awesome, and they're resilient. I wore these shoes to the Holy Festival, the Indian Festival in downtown Baton Rouge, the color where you do the color packets, and look at them. I mean, you get the right cleaning material on them, they'll work. We'll see if we get chlorine out of there. Woo! I tell you what, too, water felt good, man. Not gonna lie. All right. Hang on. I thought I brought more shorts out here. Oh, well, you know what? I may just boxer it up the rest of the way. These are soaking wet now. I think when I did this a few years ago, when I pool jumped a few years ago, I just wore a towel, like on the bottoms. It was just towel the rest of the way. So anyway, yeah, Scott Pataro. Oh, I missed it. Johnson started a 2-game losing streak. You know what? I'll laugh at it. I am supremely disinterested in anything Coastal Carolina is doing, saying, or whatever today or for the rest of ever, unless and until LSU plays them again. So, stripper scone. Hey, man, I'm doing my best here. Hang on. Let me put on my shirt, light up my cigar, and we'll hang the rest of the day. All right. Woo. All right, y'all. You know what? Party foul. I didn't cut my cigar. Hang on. What a day, y'all. Please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Facebook, like the page, share the post. We're not on Facebook, never mind. All right, hang on. I'm back. All right. All right, I'm back and we're ready. Hopefully everybody hung on. We didn't lose anybody along the way. How about the Tigers, y'all? Let's talk about this game and everything that transpired to get us to this point with this game. Light up my Bocock Brothers cigar, and I'll tell y'all just if you're interested, they will have championship design cigars. So beautiful. Honduran Tobacco. They've done a great job with the LSU branded merch and cigars. So cheers. Cheers, everybody. Tigers. I got my cigar. I got my pappy. And we're going to hang. All right, let's do it. All right, let's run through the game first. How about we do that? LSU. So LSU was the visitor in the ball game. And so they batted first. And, you were facing Jacob Morrison, who is a heck of a pitcher who's had a great season for Coastal. One of the things, though, we've talked about with Morrison, I know that I talked about, and a lot of the Coastal people, I did the crossover episode with Dave Schultz of Locked On Sunbelt, and I talked about the quality of the opponent being a differentiator and something that we shouldn't ignore. Morrison's great. He's got an ERA of 2. But you saw it today. There was nothing that Jacob Morrison did on the mound that looked unfamiliar or made LSU's hitters uncomfortable. And that's because over the course of the season, he faced 2 Power 5 schools. He faced Kansas State and North Carolina until Omaha. That was it. Oh, forgive me, until the postseason. They faced Auburn and then Oregon State. And he was good in those games, no doubt. But objectively, Oregon State ran out 8 of their 9 hitters were right-handed batters. And that was a big advantage for Morrison with a lineup stacked with righties. In this game, we knew Jay was going to run Curiel out there. Milam was going to flip around to the left side. Jake Brown was there from the left side. But interestingly enough, your offense and your breakthroughs came initially from guys batting on the right side, but then Curiel delivered the big blow, which we'll get to. But, Curiel strikes out to start the game. Ethan Fry grounds out. I mean, it's very quickly 2 outs in the ball game in the first inning. And Milam comes up, and this was one of those things that I did think was interesting early in the game anyway, as we talked about the wind. And remember, Milam hit that little flare to left, and it dropped in the circle. Now, Milam should have been on his horse, and that should have been he should have been standing on second base. But what it is, and then after that, Brown struck out. And then they came up, and this is where the drama started with the coach, with the coach ejections. And I think it is something that we have to talk about. Lord knows they spent enough time on the broadcast talking about it in this game. The scenario went like this. Eyanson gets a strikeout to start the game. And then if you remember, the second hitter hit the ground ball deep in the hole at second. Dickinson made a great play ranging to his right to get it, throw it over to Jones, and it just hit Jones on the heel of his glove. He couldn't come up with it. So you got a runner on first with 1 out. Eyanson gets another strikeout. So there's 2 outs, runner on first. They steal. Runner safe at second. Well, at that point is when Coach Schnall starts arguing because on the stolen base, the home plate ump ruled the pitch on the stolen base a strike. And so Schnall argues, but the first base coach was arguing as well. So you could see the home plate umpire point down the first base line as if to give a warning. Well, at that point, Schnall engages from the dugout. And you just can't argue balls and strikes. Like, we can have the whole conversation, y'all, about ump show. We can have the whole conversation about if umps are soft. And y'all know where I stand. In my opinion, every ump, official, ref, in every sport, they're all bad at their jobs because it is impossible to be good at that job. There is just no way that humans in real time can make split-second determinations and be correct 100% of the time, which is what our expectation is when we are watching in super high-def, slow-mo, ultra-see it, and they're trying to make instantaneous decisions. It's just not a real thing that can happen. So I expect umps and officials and refs to be bad at their job. It's just the way it's going to be. So in that situation, though, like, the rules are very clearly stated, y'all. The rules are very, very, very clearly stated. Like, you can't argue balls and strikes. So the first base coach is arguing, and ump is warning him. Schnall engages. He warns him. He comes out there. He says, "Get back, get back." He says 3 times, "Get back, get back," and then he keeps coming, and he runs him. And I know everybody is going to say it's soft. You can't do it in that moment. The bottom line is, in that situation, you have got to show restraint. And I know I put this clip on Twitter because I played it in yesterday's episode. I'd love to play it if I have it still handy here for you, but I don't know exactly which clip it is. I've got multiple clips of Jay. You know what? This is not going to be the best audio of it, but let me just play it from here anyway, because I think this is going to be the best one.
Yeah, I mean, as far as
all right, so
after you're not supposed to go out there.
This is.
Yeah, I mean, as far.
Forgive me. So this is Jay again after the talking about Dickinson, right? So Dickinson ends up this is game one when Dickinson leaned into the pitch, looked like he was hit by pitch. They review it. They say leaned into it. He's out. So they review it. Jay doesn't come out of the dugout. He's asked for clarification after. This is what Jay Johnson says.
Yeah, I mean, as far as after, you're not supposed to go out there after a review. So the umpire was correct, and I know that, and I knew that. I just wanted clarification the ball was clearly in the batter's box. I'm not sure what he was supposed to do. And it's a tough rule where you're rewarding the pitcher for throwing a ball in that case. And I thought he did make attempt to roll, but at that point, my team needs me to stay poised and focused and calm, and as they said, get to the next pitch. And that was that. So you're not allowed to, after a review, you're not allowed to go back out to the umpire.
My team needed me to stay calm and focused and poised. And after a review, you're not allowed to go out to the umpire. He knew the rule. I'm sure he was ticked, but he knew the rule. He stayed calm and poised and all that stuff. And he stayed in the dugout. And ultimately, he was able to, he stayed in the game as a result. Kevin Schnall knew the rule, was not calm and poised or any of that stuff. He continued to persist and press, came out of the dugout, which you can't do, arguing balls and strikes, which you can't do, and he got run. And then the first base coach did the same thing. And I'll tell you what, I'll tell you very honestly, in my opinion, if there's one moment in the game, hang on, y'all. Let me say this. There was one moment in the game where I thought Kevin Schnall not being there impacted his team. There was one moment. And it was in the top of the fourth when LSU put up the 4 spot. And if you remember the sequence, they sacrificed bunt Dickinson to get to Braswell. And I'm going, why are you bunting to get to Braswell? We all feel terrible what's happened with Braswell, but you also have to understand the reality of the situation, which is Michael Braswell hasn't had a hit. He's been hitless in the last 8 games. You gave them an out to put runners in scoring position for a guy who hasn't had a hit in 8 games. That's not smart strategy. And Braswell pops out, unfortunately, but that's not unexpected. And so your runners don't advance. You're second and third, now 2 outs, and Curiel's up. In that situation, considering what was transpiring and what they still had in the bullpen, and the fact that LSU was already up 2, LSU's up 3-1. Remember the situation here. LSU's up 3-1 in this situation. You got second and third, 2 outs, Curiel coming up. Curiel's already seen Morrison twice. I was as sure as I'm sitting here alive right now, I thought for sure there was no way they were letting Morrison pitch to Curiel. I thought they were going to go get the lefty. And we could talk splits, Curiel lefty, right? I get it. But I thought for sure there was no way they were going to let Curiel, who had already seen Morrison twice, that they were going to let him see him a third time. He struck out the first time. He flew out the second time, so he got his timing down. And the third time, he ropes the 2 RBI single that puts LSU up 5-1. And, of course, later in the game, Coastal does hit the 2-run homer to get him to 3. And if you can't erase it. But in that situation, if they'd played matchup to get Curiel out there, then and by the way, they had their bullpen ready. Curiel was the last batter that Morrison faced, and then they went to the bullpen in that situation. So the fact that they went to who did they go to first? They went to Johnson. So Johnson was hot. They were ready. I can't believe they let the lineup flip over and let Morrison face Curiel with runners at second and third, facing him for a third time with the game in the balance. I mean, I get it. He's your best pitcher. He's the conference pitcher of the year, all that stuff. But he clearly didn't have it, and it was unraveling quickly on them in the fourth. That's the moment where I thought, if Kevin Schnall's out there, I wonder. I don't know the answer. But I wonder in that moment, would Kevin Schnall have pulled Morrison at that spot and not let him face Curiel? That's the one where I go, I can't, I thought for sure that there's no way they were going to let him face Curiel, and I was stunned that they did. And that's maybe the one spot where I thought Schnall not being there maybe impacted strategy in the game. All right. It is Locked on LSU. We're so thrilled to have you aboard with us. I told you, I'm not going anywhere. There's 3,500 of y'all watching right now, and I love every stinking one of y'all. The Tigers are the national champions for the 8th time in program history. I want to talk more about this game. I want to get to all of your questions and comments. We could talk about this team, the season. We could talk about the portal and what they need and who's coming and who's going and all that stuff. And we're going to get to all of it. So stay with us here. I got to do this so I get all my elements in. It's Locked On LSU, your team every day. Summer sports are in full swing, and whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. You're already following the action, so why not make it a little more thrilling? With FanDuel, you can get in on the game with your friends or while your friends are getting sunburned at the beach. Listen, love FanDuel. I loved in this game. I actually didn't love anything in this LSU Coastal game. Game 7 of the NBA Finals tonight. If you want to bet on that, you can certainly do it. I did love LSU on the money line and the under 8.5 in Game 1. Both those hits. That was a very nice little parlay that we cashed, courtesy of FanDuel, and you could do it as well. So get over to FanDuel. If you're new to FanDuel, remember, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. Again, that's FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. Okay, I want to keep going through the game. Again, we're here at Casa de Scone. Thrilled to have you aboard with us. If you've been with us all season long, God bless you. I can't thank you enough. First season we've done this post-game for every LSU baseball game, with the exception of 2. We missed the one game against Texas A&M where I went to Jazz Fest to watch Pearl Jam, and then I did miss yesterday live. I got you a post-game episode. I just did it at 1 o'clock in the morning. But the Van Winkles always hold up. If you're a whiskey person, you try to say that Van Winkles are all sizzle and no steak. I don't know what you're like. They always hold up. They're amazing. Anyway, I just want to say thank you to everybody who's been a part of the show throughout this baseball season. We've seen, what's interesting is that this is the off season sort of for the Locked On College channels, because I'm sorry? Ken Trahan? I don't know. Oh. John Trey Kirkland. John Trey Kirkland. Jontre. Kirkland. Kirklin. Got it. My son loves, this is real life, y'all. So my son loves to watch videos on YouTube, and he goes down these rabbit holes. And years ago, he was watching Gordy Rush on YouTube, found Gordy at the New Orleans Quarterback Club, starts going down the rabbit hole. And so he watches videos of Ken Trahan, our buddy, the lady that Daniels, Jontre, Kirklin. And so he watches these videos from the New Orleans Quarterback Club and loves Bryce Brown from Edna Carr, who he's seen, and he's trying to find an old video of John Trey Kirkland. So that's what that is right there. Anyway, I was saying, thank you, man. I love y'all so much. Thank you for being here. Richard said, thank you, Matt. Glad to go through this with you the last couple of years. I'm sincerely grateful, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate this as well. Sam, we love Drew. I appreciate that. I think a lot of you are familiar with our family's situation. Drew will be 11 this summer, and he's a special needs kiddo. And, we went through such a struggle just for his life. And he's our greatest blessing, but there are a lot of interruptions, and mostly y'all are great. Shane, where's the Pappy? Right here, man. In fairness, it's not actually Pappy. So Pappy is when you get to the 15, right? This is old Rip. It's all the Van Winkles, right? There's old Rip 10. There's a lot B12 year. Then you get to Pappy 15, 20, 23, and so on. And then they got the Van Winkle, rye as well. But this is the old Rip 10, and I'm enjoying the heck out of it. So, again, I wish if I could go, I might be able to go wider shot where I could just get the bottle in here the whole time. But anyway, yeah. So, and again, shout out to Bocock Brothers, man. They're going to have the, just very candidly, let y'all know, they are going to have the championship themed box and cigars. This is the Jay Johnson edition that they've got right now. You can use the code MATT15 for 15% off, but they're going to have to add a number here. They're going to have to add a number. So, all right, let's run through the game. So we were going through the game, and we got to the bottom of the first when the sparks flew, and that's when Kevin Schnall was ejected. And remember also, they had the infield single, and so after the ejection, ground ball, and I thought this was important because the game could have unraveled here, man. The game could have unraveled because Jared Jones is up at the top of the second, and he hits a ground ball to third, and it goes right under the third baseman's glove. So it felt like in that moment it could have started to unravel a bit on Coastal, but right after Jones hit the ball under the third baseman's glove for an E5, Hernandez comes up and grounds into the double play. Then they get the line out from Stanfield, and just like that, they're back in the dugout. And this is where Coastal kind of had their first sign of life. Eyanson goes out there, goes strikeout. He looks like he's cruising, but he goes strikeout, solo homer. And that spot, incredibly, was like probably the only spot on the field where that ball was leaving the yard. I mean, it was a low line drive in the left field corner below the jet stream with the wind blowing to left and just got out, man. And so now you're down 1-0, but then Eyanson gets a strike. It bounces right back, gets the strikeout. So he strikes out the side, but they got the lead. And boy, Kevin Schnall sure liked to talk a lot about Coastal's record when they scored first and had the lead. And I'm not saying that's insignificant because they were really good with the lead. But this is what was so important. Like, this is where, if I was going to define a hallmark of this LSU team, and tell me if you agree with this. Yeah, this is right, by the way. Gray Fox, 91 miles an hour exit velo on that homer, which not, if you're not familiar, like an exit velo of 91, like that's a fly ball. It's a fly ball out. I mean, it's not even, that's not hard hit. So, but I think the hallmark of this team, the hallmark of this team is ultimately, I think, going to be their resilience. You know, Jay Johnson talked about this a lot. They just never seemed to be bothered when things went badly, and they never got too high when things went well. I'm trying to give you some examples, but like, I know that's cliche, but remember what happened in consecutive weeks back in SEC play. You went on the road and you sweep Oklahoma. A week later, you go on the road to Auburn and you get swept. And, you know, that was at a point in the schedule where, you know, it felt like you had given up this huge advantage that you had worked hard to build with sweeping Oklahoma on the road, because then you had Alabama coming up. But after that, remember, it was Tennessee, Texas A&M, Arkansas. So that was like the toughest consecutive 9-game streak that you were going to have throughout the course of the season. Hey, buddy.
Who is that?
This is Dad's show. You want to say hi?
What's your name?
That's Dad's show. Come on, you can come say hi, baby. We're celebrating the Natty. What do we say? Hey, what do we say when LSU's playing? What do we say?
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers! Did LSU win today?
Yeah.
Yes, they did. All right. You're going to go inside and watch your iPad? Okay. Hey, when you go inside and watch your iPad, close your door, okay? Okay. That's true. That's my boat. My Jenny. My Drew. I think the hallmark of this team, Todd Dupree said Todd Walker just talked about Bears' resilience. Like, that's a great point, right? Look at Bear Jones. Bear Jones, but like that's baseball, man. It's like baseball is a game of failure, and it's the oldest cliche in baseball. when people say it, like you fail 70% of the time, you're in the Hall of Fame, but it's true. Like this is a game predicated on failure. You have to be comfortable with failure and not let it bother you. And that's the thing I think this team did exceptionally well all year. And there were times where, Bear Jones hitting in the 2-hole went through an awful stretch. Braswell had this, terrible stretch at the end of the season. Dickinson, who was just torrid early in the season, really struggled late. But at times when guys struggled, it kind of went, look, do y'all realize Stephen Milam? I'm so curious, if this is actually something we remember about this team. But Stephen Milam was a 200 hitter in conference play this year. Postseason rolls around, made whatever slight adjustment he did, and was incredible the entire postseason. I mean, that's the kind of thing that I think is going to define this team. So, anyway, thank you, Richard. I appreciate it, man. We love Drew. One of my favorite things on Morning Scone. I appreciate that, man. Most of y'all are awesome about Drew. There are a few outliers in the world that are just awful people that will make comments, but mostly humanity is awesome, and I appreciate y'all greatly. Hang on one second. I'm sweating badly. Hang on. I'm coming. Okay. All right. I need to make sure I stay hydrated. If I want something cold. All right. So let's go through the game too. So we're official beer of the Tigers. So they're up 1-0. And again, this is a hallmark. Back to the point. I was saying this is the hallmark of the team. They homer. They're up 1. Their coach gets ejected. They homer. They're up 1-0. Now you go top 3. And this sequence, top 3, I thought was so important because at that moment, think about, just if you can, think about the emotional swing, the ebb and flow here, okay? Coastal knows they got to win to save their season. Their ace is on the bump. They go out there. In the first inning, their coach gets ejected. Then they commit an error, falling apart a little bit here. They get out of it. Homer, now they're winning with their ace on the mound. And then what happened? If you look at how it all went right after that, after they homer, LSU, top 3, comes back with a leadoff single from Dickinson. Singles to left center. So Dickinson's on base. They get Braswell to sack bunt, lays it down beautifully. You flip the lineup to Curiel, who flies out. Now, unfortunately, there's 2 outs. So you gave up Braswell to get Dickinson in scoring position. So now you turn the lineup over with less than 2 outs. Curiel or Fry has to come through for you. Curiel flies out. Ethan Fry, boom, RBI double with 2 outs. Huge response. Massive response. Because now they're feeling sky high because they're leading after their coach is out. They got their ace on the mound, and you get through in the second against their ace to tie the ball game. And then in the third, God, he was Eyanson was awesome in the third. He goes, in their half of the third, he goes, fly out on 2 pitches, 1 pitch ground out. Remember, to Eyanson that he just casually took. So 3 pitches, 2 outs. Then they get the single. But remember, that single was just off the end of the bat. He just threw the bat. It's just literally off the end of the bat, just shallow center single. And then after that, he comes and gets the strikeout. So that was a quick, relentless inning. And he struck out Barthol, by the way. That's the one who everybody's all mad about, who disrespected LSU. We got a 6-pitch strikeout. Got him swinging as well in that half. So Eyanson, in that spot, After you get the lead, boom, sits them right back down. You go to the fourth, and this is where LSU made their hay, and this is where LSU won the national championship. So we'll go through the fourth inning. I'll go through my notes. Keep your comments coming. I appreciate you greatly for being with us. Told you I'm staying here as long as y'all do. I'm on my back patio, y'all, hanging out here. I got a cigar. I got my Van Winkle. We're ready to roll. Jared Weems said shirtless scone is jacked. I'm working on it. I got to do more crunches, Jared. Like that's my one. I do a lot of push-ups. I don't do enough crunches. I got to do more core work. But I am working on it. So let's run through the fourth. Remember how the fourth inning started. Remember, it's a 1-1 game. Eyanson goes and just shoves in the third. Now here you go in the top of the fourth. Jake Brown, leadoff, walk. And this was a really good at-bat. It was a 5-pitch at-bat where he took some close pitches. They pitched him low and away. The first pitch was up and in for a ball. He swung at one low center, and then they tried to get him swinging low and away, 3 consecutive pitches on the slider. He took them all, and all 3 were out of the strike zone. He takes his base. Then Jared Jones comes up, and he singles. So now you've got first and third, great at bat, by the way, by Jared Jones. It was a 2-2 pitch, got his pitch. Again, this is one of the hallmarks of Jared Jones as well that showed his development and progression this year, y'all. Like Jared Jones was a guy who was a one-trick pony. He was strikeout homer guy. That's what he was a year ago. When Jared Jones was going great this year at his best, he took his walks, and he did with the pitches what they gave him. And on that pitch, the 6th pitch of the at-bat, when Jones singled, it was low and away. And if you remember, he stayed down. He just extended the bat head and just shoved it. He just singled in the left field. He just kind of casually guided the ball in the left field. And Brown goes to third. So now you got first and third with nobody out. And then they hit Hernandez with the pitch. So now the bases are loaded for Chris Stanfield, who singles, 2 RBI single by Stanfield. By the way, someone asked me this morning, like, do you want to get another left-handed bat in the lineup? Do you maybe bench Stanfield, move Curiel to center, keep Brown in right, and put Pearson in left? And I said no. Like, Stanfield is a 300 hitter. He's got better speed. Really good glove. By the way, we're going to get to that because Stanfield had some, like, the line out in the bottom of the 6th the play Stanfield made charging the ball and he rolled was incredible. So, of course, I wanted Stanfield in there. And he comes up with a 2 RBI single. You're up 3-1. And then this is what the sequence we talked about just a bit ago. After Stanfield singled, you're up 3-1. Dickinson sacrificed bunts to get the runners to second and third, but you getting the runners to second and third for Braswell. And that's really the question is, do you want Dickinson to swing away, first and second, nobody out, or do you want him to bunt to get runners second and third, 1 out? Well, in that situation, even with Braswell up next, they choose to bunt, second and third, 1 out. Braswell pops out on the infield, unfortunately. But then Derek Curiel, the biggest at-bat of the season for Derek Curiel. In that situation, 3-1 ball game. It feels like in that moment, with Eyanson shoving the way he is, with Chase Shores fresh, Casey Evans fresh, everyone else you need. Everyone else you need. Everyone else you need. Healthy, ready to go. Fresh, ready to go. You get a hit here and go 4 runs, this is over. At this point, we're counting outs, which is ultimately what happened. And Derek Curiel, boom, 2 RBI single. It's 5-1. They go to the bullpen. You immediately get a single, by the way, from Milam, and then Fry popped out. But if you missed it earlier, maybe you're just joining us late. I did say I think that's the one spot in the game. That was the one spot, the Curiel at bat. The lineup flipped over. LSU's up 3-1, second and third, 2 outs in the fourth. Morrison isn't fooling anybody at this point. And you got You got your best bat-to-ball contact hitter in the lineup up at the plate with runners in scoring position. All he's got to do is find grass somewhere, and it's 5-1, and this is over. The coronation is beginning. I cannot believe they let Morrison pitch to Curiel for a third time. That was Curiel's third at bat in the fourth inning. So that was very surprising to me. And I think that's the one thing where if I could ask Kevin Schnall a question, it's, and maybe hindsight's 2020. Who knows what he would say now? But I think, Berwick Baugh is saying, did Schnall have communications after the ejection? No. Like, you have to leave. You have to leave. You cannot have communication with the team. But I think that's the one moment in the game where, and baseball, y'all, being very honest, baseball is the one game, I think, where managing, like, in a game is the least important. I'm not saying coaching, like, of course it matters, okay? But once you get to here's what I mean. Jay Johnson can't go into the batter's box and select pitches for his hitters. Jay Johnson can't field a ground ball at short. Jay Johnson can't read a ball off the bat in the outfield. Jay Johnson can't make a decision for the shortstop with which direct. Ultimately, you get your best lineup out there, and there's just a couple of decisions per game that are gonna that could affect the outcome, depending on how the game flow goes. There's a couple. Like, you let this guy hit here. At what point do you go to your bullpen? Like that, though, it's just a couple of games. And I think that's the situation where you look at that one and you go, that was the decision. That was the decision. Top four in a 3-1 ball game. Kevin Schnall's not there. The lineup turns over. It's Curiel with 2 in scoring position. He's seeing your ace for the third time now. He went strikeout, fly out. He's timed him. Are you really going to let him pitch to Curiel? They did, and it bit him. So much to LSU's benefit. So LSU's up 5-1. We go bottom 4, and I thought this was massive as well. I thought it was so massive, bottom 4. After you take the 5-1 lead to throw up a 0. And it got close, by the way. Bottom 4, you went fly out, pop out. So you went quick out. But then Eyanson goes walk, infield single, and then gets the strikeout with 2 on to end the inning. And I thought it was massive to throw up a 0 right there. Again, like, after you had gained all the momentum, you had crushed their spirit. Their ace is out of the game. They're into their bullpen. They're down 4. Their coach has been ejected. And now they've got 2 on with 2 out. Like, don't let them hit one into the corner, and all of a sudden you're looking at a 5-3 ball game in the 4th. Now it's just a different field. And Eyanson goes out there and slams the door. So, loved it. Y'all, there wasn't a whole lot after that. LSU went quietly in the 5th. Braswell had a beautiful play on a ground out in the bottom of the 5th. Another play ranging to his left. In the 6th, there was one sort of controversial moment. That's when LSU led off with looked like the infield single. They reviewed it, ultimately ruled him out. Braswell did walk in that inning, so you had a base runner on with 2 out, flipped over to Curiel, who struck out. In the 6th, there was 1-2-3. In the 6th, that was the line out to Stanfield, who was awesome, charging for the first out. Then Eyanson goes strikeout. In the 7th, they made a pitching change again. And, man, this was the other spot. This was it. This was the other spot in the game. Well, actually, the 7th and the 8th, you had opportunities. And it was interesting, too, because it felt like the game hit a lull, and we were just waiting on the coronation, because LSU was up 5-1, and you got a 4-run lead, and you got a 4-run lead, and Eyanson's dealing, and you got Shores and Evans ready to roll. Like, do you need anything more? And then in the 7th, Fry leads off with a ground out. This is when they went to Horn. Horn was very good, by the way. Fry leads off with a ground out. Then Milam grounds out. So there's 2 outs. Jake Brown gets a 2-out walk. Jones reaches on the error by the second baseman. So now there's 2 on, 2 out with Hernandez up, and Hernandez strikes out. So you had a chance there with a runner in scoring position, didn't come through. They came up in the bottom of the 7th, hit by pitch, then homer. So it's 5-3. Fly out. They go get Shores. They go get Eyanson. Shores comes in. 1 pitch ground out, 3 pitch strikeout, 4 pitches, you're out of the 7th. At that point, it was like, y'all are screwed. Like, you're not scoring against this dude. I mean, you may, like, the only shot you have is if you accidentally run into one, but it's 5-3. It's a 2-run lead. Chase Shores on the mound, and if by some act of God he manages to lose command, Kason Evans is coming to shove it right up your donkey. So then you go out there in the 8th, and you get another bit of an uprising here. Like, you had an opportunity in the 8th. Because you lead off, Stanfield strikes out to lead off, but then Dickinson hits the drag bunt for a single. So you got a runner on first, and then they get the caught stealing interference. And it was the right call. Braswell was at the plate. He leaned over the plate. I mean, it stinks because then Braswell singles. And if Dickinson's safe at second and Braswell singles, you get a run back and it's 6-3. And I hate to say this, but if you were listening to Morning Scone, my final score pick was 6-3, and it was just a hat tip to the 91 National. It's my favorite baseball score is 6-3 because 6-3 was LSU against Wichita State in 91, the first national championship in program history. So I love games that end 6-3. I'm always reminded of that whenever I see 6-3. And I was hoping they were going to wear their road grays today as the road team, and they usually wear gray on the road when Eyanson's pitching, but they went with the championship goal, which I understand as well. And Braswell singled, so had Braswell not been called for interference and Dickinson safe at second, Braswell single scores Dickinson, you're up 6-3. But in any event, after that, it was largely inconsequential. In the top of the 8th, the first AB was the 9 pitch at bat. It was the battle between Mitchell and Shores, where Shores ultimately got him on a 101-mile-an-hour fastball, got him swinging. And then strikeout, fly out. I'm sorry, strikeout, ground out in the 8th. And then the 9th was awesome. Strikeout, a single, strikeout, ground ball, double play. And if I think back, Bryson Cicero wants another jump. You know what? I'm going to give it to you. And this is an interesting. Let me know your thoughts on this. Please drop a comment. I'm curious your thoughts on this. And I know this is a total fan topic. I don't care. I love this topic because I'm a uniform nerd. I love uniforms, and I want to know what you think about it. Like, what do you want? Like, do you care what uniform LSU's wearing in the championship? Because, like, I can tell you every uniform LSU's worn in every championship. In 91, they wore the road grays. 93, with Brett Laxton, they wore the pins, which are gorgeous, by the way. 96 is when Skip busted out the golds. 97, they had the purple tops. In 2000, they were in the all whites as the home team against Stanford. 09, they were in the golds. 23, they were in the golds. They're in the golds again today. So it's 4 times now they've been in the golds when they won the national championship. And it feels like we've sort of ordained the championship gold as the thing. So when LSU's playing for a championship, they're going to wear gold, which is cool, I guess. Blake Miller is going to get banned from the chat for saying that we need to bring back the black tops. This is baseball. You wear your colors. You want to wear white at home. Pins are beautiful. I love those as well. You wear purple tops on the road if you want to do that. I love the road grays, but whatever. I don't love the golds. I know this is a hot take. You can hate me for it. It's fine. This isn't contentious. It's just an opinion. It's just an aesthetic opinion. I don't love the – get out of here, camo hats. Jacob said camo. Get out of here with camo hats, man. I love the traditional home whites, road grays. I think they're gorgeous. When you have piping and it looks right, I think LSU's colors are beautiful in baseball uniforms. But I think we have just I think we have become accustomed to seeing LSU in the gold in championship settings, and so it's more of a again, emotional pull than an actual aesthetic. And I'm more aesthetic than I am emotional. Well, let me rephrase that. That's actually not true, because I do believe in the aesthetics for sure. But like, I also in football, like, I think the home purple jerseys are gaudy and ugly and awful, and I wish they would never ever wear them. And plus, you have a thing that is your thing, which is the home white. So I wish they would go gold, white, gold, and wear that every game forever. I know that's just not what we're going to do in the modern era. Like, we're in an era where Nike runs things and they want to see. I'll explain this to y'all if y'all want to hear it. I don't know if y'all care, but LSU wears, like, Nike wants LSU in different uniforms. So that's why LSU wears the purples in, like, the non-conference home games against the lesser opponents. And they're mandated to wear an alternate uniform as well. So that's why, like, remember they've worn, like, the I know I'm deviating here to football. Sorry about that, but I don't think y'all care. I mean, we're hanging. There's 3,000 of us hanging out. LSU won a national championship. Are you kidding? I'm jumping in the pool again. Bleep it. I'm jumping in the pool again. All right. All right. Might have a little bit of a problem here. Might have a little bit of an issue. I don't have another dry shirt, so I might be stuck here in, like, wet. Hang on. Let me just wring this one. This is so whoever said Jack Scone a little bit, shirtless Scone is Jack. Here you go again. All right. I'm going to wring this out. Here you go. There's Jack Scone. There you go. I'm going to wring this out and put it back on when it's wrung out. What were we even? We're talking about uniforms. So Nike mandates that LSU wear, like, an alternate, and a lot of it's because they want to sell alternates and stuff. But so that's why LSU wears different color football uniforms. All right. Anyway. All right. I'm probably going to chafe. Not even worried about it. We're just going to roll. Oh. Yo, we just got a little cloud cover and a little breeze. Oh, my. What a great time to take another shot of my Rip 10 Van Winkle. Be very honest with you. Not that I would ever lie. But I don't do a lot of whiskey drinking in the summer. It's too hot. If it's nighttime, I'm at a restaurant, I'll order a whiskey. But, like, when I'm sitting by the pool, I'm drinking beer, I'm drinking cold Bud Lights, and I'm drinking tequila. Anthony said Matt's getting trashed. I love it. Anthony, I am not close to being trashed. As much whiskey as I've drank in my life, like, my blood type is whiskey. Or, like, I mean, I could sip a bottle of whiskey all day and never be affected by it. I don't know if that's a good thing, but it's what it is. Oh, Lindsay Rains. Where'd you go? Hang on. That comment. Wait, I want that comment. How about Lindsay Rains sipping a George T. Stagg? All right, Lindsay, you have to disclose here. Are you Lindsay male or Lindsay female? I need to know this. Because if there's a Lindsay female watching, drinking a George T. Stagg, which is the highest proof BTAC you're going to find in one of the best bottles of whiskey in the world you'll ever find, that's amazing. And I don't care if you're Lindsay guy, Lindsay girl. Either way, I'm just curious. But in respect for drinking the George T. Stagg. Colin, how much do we have to pay Scone to watch him get trashed and a little obnoxious on YouTube? Colin, if we're going to be real honest, man, like, around, dude. I mean, I don't mean to be like, I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm drinking Van Winkle out of the bottle. And look, I mean, you're not going to pay me to get trash. I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, I'm good. Yes. A lot of people pointing this out as well. Charles said, Charleston Maestro, T-Bob was at the game. T-Bob was sitting like first row behind the Chanticleer's dugout. I would love to know. Hey, I would love to know what T-Bob was saying to the Chants all game. There's my dad, Deacon Jody, the freaking Deacon, enjoying a cigar. Hopefully it is a Bocock Brothers premium cigar. Survivor's remorse. What? God dog it. That the comments are going fast. My apologies. I want to get to it. But he said, here it is. He said, I see no platoon in the championship series. You saw no platoon in the championship series because Coastal was going to start 3 righties. So they could have, when they went to the lefty, brought in Pearson, but with a lead, there was no reason to do it, especially with Brown's defense and right. If you needed offense, like if they were losing and they needed offense, I could have seen a world where Pearson would have pinch hit for Brown and gone into right. But with a lead at that point, it's pitch and play defense. You have the lead. And who's to say what they're going to do on the mound next? Like, they were rotating relievers at that point. So would Brown even come up against a lefty, which he did. He struck out. But he later Brown ended up walking twice in this ball game. I'm trying to get the total box score. Hang on. Brown in this ball game, I think he was over 2 with 2 walks. Let me see if I had that right. Brown was over 3 with 2 walks. 2 walks, 2 Ks. Final box score. LSU had 10 hits in this game. 5 runs on 10 hits, no errors. By the way, does that mean, hang on. That's LSU in 5 College World Series games. I want to check myself on this to make sure I have this right. But LSU in 5 College World Series games did not commit an error, if I have that correct. I might be wrong. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I don't want to sit here and bore the 3,000 of you that are watching live by looking through a box score. But I think LSU went 5 games without an error in this College World Series, which is amazing. Jared Jones. Did they rule an error on Jones? Did they rule that an error on Jones? Might have been. Yep, I think you're right. Anyway, let me know if you find it. Someone look it up. If you find it, post it in the. There we go. By the way, I will tell you, I know the camera just glitched. I'm hardwired. I ran 100-foot cable from my office to out here. So I'm hardwired into Ethernet. We should not have just buffered, but we did. Well played. All right. Okay. Let's see. Luke and Emily said parade. I don't know if there will be a parade, but I'm certain there will be a championship celebration. In 2023, they did a championship celebration in the at Alec Box Stadium, which I'm sure they'll do again. And maybe there's a parade that that leads up to that, but like maybe there'll be a championship celebration. There will for sure be a championship celebration. We'll see if there'll be a parade leading up to it. All right, y'all. That's my notes. The ejections, the top of the 4th, which I thought was huge, and then in the bottom of the 4th, throwing up a 0. LSU dominating Jacob Morrison, I thought was massive. I mean, this was a situation where look at the dichotomy between the aces. Cade Anderson, Jacob Morrison. You needed Cade Anderson to go shove for you to get you a win in game 1. He threw a complete game shutout, the 3rd ever in the 23-year history of this format. Cade Anderson was awesome. Joseph Foreman, Elmer T. Lee of the Mashbill 2s. It's my favorite. I know it's 90 proof. A lot of people don't love it because it's 90 proof. I love Elmer T. Lee, my favorite of the Mashbill 2s. if you're a whiskey nerd, you get it. Anderson dominated, and Morrison didn't get out of the fourth. When you called upon your ace to be a dude and get you into the winner's bracket, get you the game one win, he did. And we probably have to start having some conversation about Cade Anderson in this season and where, oh my God, I have 56 text messages. Oh my God. Since we started this show, I have 56 text messages. Whatever. I'll get to them later. I'm here. I'm hanging with y'all. I'm with y'all for there's 25, almost 2,600 amazing souls hanging on. Hey, real quick, I have to do this just so I get all my elements in. This is gonna be real quick. Watch. Just hang on one second. I know that's a weird thing, but I have to do it. It tells the thing when to run ads, whatever. One other thing, and then I want to get to your comments, more of them. And I'll probably light up a second cigar because this one's getting low. I need to take off this label. Grant, let's not forget Josh Pearson being a stud leader. You know what else we have to talk about with Josh Pearson? Josh Pearson is a 2-time national champion at LSU. That was commonplace in the 90s when LSU won 5 in 10 years. Finding dudes that were on the 23 team and the 25 team that are 2-time champions, that's a bit more rare. When you go through this lineup, I'm going to have to look at who else. I mean, maybe some down-the-line pitchers. Jones was a freshman on that team who didn't play a ton. Guidry, of course, closed out the national championship game. Now, he didn't play on this team because he was injured, but he'll get 2 rings. He was on this team. But my goodness, that's... Wait, okay, this is great. Anthony said it's 8 of them. There's 8 guys on this team that were on 23? List them. I'll call them all out by name. Ishuia. Am I saying it right? Ishuia. Talk game 1 since we missed you. So, by the way, Ishuia, I did a post-game show for game 1. I just didn't do it live. I thought, Ethan Fry. Yes, of course. Fry was part of that 3-catcher group. It was Fry, Jones, and went to Alabama from Tallahassee. Why am I blanking? Somebody help. Shores was on that team, but he blew out, of course. I'm missing somebody. You'll post it. Anyway. Brady Neal, thank you. Why I just lost my brain for a second, I think. Oh, Newt. And that's when Newt had Tommy John. Yeah. So Mick Paul. Okay. Milam was not on the championship team. Milam was a freshman a year ago. So this is his first. This might be a little petty. Oh, Primo. Yep. Primo. Who can forget Primo being the last guy jumping on the pile? That was great, man. Primo is very prominently placed in the pile jump in 2023, but he was a much bigger contributor here, obviously, as a left-hander reliever on this team. One other thing, y'all. I don't know that ESPN is ever going to change this, but I really hope they do. I don't want Carl Ravitch calling the game. Carl Ravitch is great. He's a great baseball guy. He's a great baseball play-by-play. I love watching Ravi on Sunday Night Baseball. He's awesome. He does not, but when you go the entire year and you don't follow college baseball, and then you get to the sport's biggest stage, and you're bringing in someone who has not followed college baseball all year. And again, I don't want this to be a knock on Ravitch because he's awesome. Like, I'm the baseball nerd, okay? Like, I'm the baseball nerd. I watch baseball every day. I come home, I put on the Yankees on the MLB app. I watch baseball every day. My wife hates it. She hates baseball. She thinks it's slow and boring, hates it. I watch baseball every day. Karl Ravitch is great. A great play-by-play man. But my goodness, he doesn't know the college game. He was in the national. LSU's going for a national championship, and Karl Ravitch called Skip Bertram. He said that in the Arkansas game, Kason Evans was going to come out of the bullpen. It was Anthony Eyanson. Jay said it in a press conference. Like, if they went to the 10th, Eyanson was coming in. Ravitch said it was Evans. Like, I know those seem small, but it's the biggest stage in the sport. And I get why ESPN does it. And again, this may sound petty, and I'm sorry if it does. And again, I want to reiterate, Karl Ravitch is awesome. He's an awesome baseball. I love Karl Ravitch calling baseball. But man, like, the reason ESPN does it is because, look, that's a game on ABC. And so you have a lot of people that are watching that don't watch college baseball throughout the year. They don't. They're not college baseball fans. They're not you and me. But it's on ABC on a Sunday afternoon. It's the national champion. It's LSU. They've heard a ton about. It's Coastal, it's Cinderella, upstart, whatever. And here we go. And so they put their best guy on it, their best baseball guy on it. But for us who actually watch college baseball, like, it's a challenge, man. It's a challenge to listen. Anyway. All right. Please smash the like button. 25. I hope that when I close this thing out, there's at least 2,500 likes. Because if you are on YouTube right now and you have not hit the like button, I'm going to be really mad at you. I've jumped in my pool fully clothed twice. I've shown you my nipples. Let's just be honest. It's what it is. I showed you my nipples. I'm drinking Rip 10 out of the bottle. I'm smoking cigars. About to get another one. Told you I was getting another one. I'm going to be here as long as y'all are here. Y'all want to be here till the sun goes down? Let's go. My niece Olivia's coming over to look for tree frogs at 7:30. It's 6 o'clock on the nose. Got an hour and a half. I'll hang out here as long as y'all want. How beautiful is that, by the way? How beautiful is that? I mean, I cannot wait to get the championship box that has the extra number on it. Cannot wait to get the championship box that has the extra number on it. Incredible, papi! Let's go. Tigers are the national champions, man. You realize how lucky we are, y'all? God, dog. You don't realize how lucky. I mean, it's just not lost on me, man. It's why you do things like this. We hang out together and we celebrate it because, I mean, think about this. Let me give you an example. This is kind of what's popped in my head just now. And I do want to talk about next year, too. I want to talk about next year. So if y'all have questions, let me know. Because I'm going to give you, by the way, I'm going to give you two names that I've heard that I think are going to land at LSU in the portal. I'll give you two names that I think are going to land at LSU. Because this is a real challenging week. 10 days for the coaches. How about this, by the way? Look at this lighter. How gorgeous is that lighter? Shout out. Gorgeous. Watch this. Oh. Yeah. Some heat to it, bruh. Some heat to it. Tigers are champs, bro. Are you kidding me? LSU has won an 8th national championship in baseball. Oh, my God. Like, do you realize this is what, like, if you were a Notre Dame football fan in, like, the 50s, 60s, 70s, like, this is what your life was. You're an Alabama football fan, I hate to say that. Under Nick Saban, this was your life. You just expect to win every year. I love. All right, some of y'all are asking. I love to do this. Hey, Bill, scroll back. You got 2 opportunities, maybe a third. We'll see if we get there. So I think next, remember this. Like, this is the hard thing for this coaching staff is while this portal window excuse me, is open, you spend 10 days in Omaha. You're practicing, you're playing games. Like, you're not hosting recruits on visits. We had Josh Jordan, LSU assistant coach, recruiting coordinator, on AFR on Friday, and I asked him that question. And he was like, look, we're, the best recruiting tool is winning a national championship, which is, of course, true. But it's also a thing where you still got to do it. You got to host guys and have them and whatever. And so now you start to look ahead to next year. And I'm not trying to get, the national championship is an hour and 17 minutes old. And God bless the Tigers, man. But I promise you this. The second Jay Johnson gets to his hotel room tonight, whenever everything happens, dies, all that, the second Jay Johnson gets to his hotel room, he's immediately looking at next year because he is maniacal. I've said this so many times. There are times Jay Johnson as an in-game coach is unconventional, and I disagree with him. That's okay. Like, I'm just an idiot in my outdoor kitchen smoking a cigar, drinking Rip 10 out of the bottle, talking about baseball. It's just you and I are having a conversation. Just like sometimes you disagree with Brian Kelly's decision to go for it on a 4th and 2. It's just what we have opinions. It's just what it is. We're having a conversation. That's all it is. But Jay Johnson is this isn't prisoner of the moment with having won this championship, because I've said this before. Jay, as far as his approach, there's 2 coaches that I've covered at LSU that most closely with their maniacal recruiting energy and attention to detail resemble Nick Saban. I'm not saying they're Nick. I'm not saying they're going to win 6 or 7 titles, whatever. But it's Will Wade was that way and Jay's that way. And who hired Jay? Scott Woodward hired Jay. That was Scott's hire, man. When there was a lot of talk about making the splash hire and getting a big name, I'll tell you this. I know this for a fact. Like, I know this for a fact that Jim Schlossnagle pushed hard to get this job. He was at TCU at the time, but wanted the job badly. But when Jay was in Omaha, in 21, his last year at Arizona, Scott Woodward and his contingent, which included a couple of well-known LSU baseball donors, flew to Omaha and interviewed Jay Johnson in Omaha. That's how that went down. This was Scott's hire. And Scott Woodward deserves a ton of credit for it. And he has done a magnificent job, man. He got the Mulkey deal done. He got the Kelly deal done. He got the Johnson deal done. we could talk about Matt McMahon. What happens? We got time still to see what happens with Matt McMahon, but this was Scott Woodward's hire. Like, he deserves everybody's respect, praise, credit, foresight, all that stuff for hiring Jay Johnson. But the thing about Jay is, like, and I'm not telling you anything he hasn't said, so I want to be clear. I'm not saying anything he hasn't said. Jay has dedicated his life to the program. So Jay's wife, Maureen, people may not know this. Jay's wife, Maureen, worked for Bob Stoops at Oklahoma. So, like, she is as all in as he is. Like, don't lose sight of the credit she deserves. Because when you talk about a coach and what it takes to be successful at this level, when you have a family, like, if you're watching, I don't know what part of life you're in. Maybe you're 20 in college and figuring it out. Maybe you're 40 and you're married with kids and you get it. Maybe you're older and retired and you remember what life was like when you had kids. Like, Jay doesn't have kids. This is not only his life, it's his and Maureen's life. Like, they are unified on this approach. Like, she is as bought in as he is. So don't lose sight of that. Like, it's interesting because we talk so much about, like, the first lady of LSU football. Like, everybody knows Pocky Kelly. Everybody knew Kathy Miles. You know what I mean? Like, everybody knew Terry Saban. Like, everybody knew Kelly Ogeron. I don't know that people really understand fully how bought in Jay and Maureen are to this. Like, I mean, y'all heard Jay tell the story about how, I think it was when, like, Curiel was coming on was it Curiel was coming on a visit? And he was like, no. Like, hey, buddy, go this way. Go this way. My baby. Like, he is so, they are so all, like, he missed a friend's wedding to be here for a recruiting visit when Curiel was here. Like, that's my point. Like, you have a first couple of LSU baseball that are so all in. Like, so all in. That's why, like, last year, when I'm gonna tell y'all candidly, y'all, like, Texas came calling for Jay Johnson last year. That's a fact. I would challenge anybody to deny me on that. And Texas has all the resources in the world. I'm going to tell you something else that's impressive about what this team did. And Jay rebuffed him. Jay stayed because this is the job he wants. But I'll tell you this, man. This LSU team, I'm going to tell you something about NIL. And God bless you for hanging out with us here after an hour and 23 minutes. 2,500 of you still watching. LSU's NIL budget for baseball this year, Texas A&M, Tennessee, Arkansas, Georgia, all spent more in NIL on their rosters than LSU. And hat tip to Jay Johnson, because that dude went and worked his behind off to get the funds necessary to put this team together. Now, I do think as we look forward, like, he may change his approach on how he looks at the portal. And what I mean is, like, you may not need to go get double-digit guys out of the portal. Like, this is going to be interesting to watch this offseason. So, for example, in last portal cycle, like, if you don't believe me, by the way, I'll give you a few examples. LSU this year desperately wanted Gavin Keelan from Louisville. He's the best infielder in the portal, and he went to he went to Tennessee. Gavin Keelan. Why do you think Gavin Keelan picked Tennessee? They look. They were just coming off a natty. That's true, but they had a bigger NIL budget. LSU wanted Root from Arkansas. He was coming out of East Carolina. LSU was recruiting him heavily. He went to Arkansas. The two guys LSU got were Anthony Eyanson and Daniel Dickinson. Huge parts of this championship team. They were great. But you can't ignore the fact that there were guys you were going after that picked other SEC schools. A year ago, like, you were in on big, like, you wanted Braden Montgomery. He went to A&M. A&M paid him $750. $750 for a year. He went to A&M. It was probably going to be LSU or Mississippi State. There was a couple of starters at Mississippi State who went to high school with Braden Montgomery in Mississippi, and he was going to go play with his boys. But my point is, like, even not having the number one NIL budget, look at what they've done. It's incredible. It's incredible. I told you I would give you this. There's two names to watch in the portal. Keep an eye on, again, I want to offer this qualifier. Nothing is ever done until it's done. Again, we've seen coaches we saw who was the softball coach at Alabama that was introduced as the coach at LSU that went back to Alabama. We saw Billy Donovan leave Florida, take the Orlando job, go back to Florida. Like, we've seen it. It's never done till it's done. But two names worth keeping an eye on that I know LSU, Joe Doyle tweeted this a bit ago. Brandon Kane, who's a two-way guy, he's a righty and an outfielder. Keep an eye on him. And then the other is another kid from Oklahoma named Kircher. Jackson Kircher is the other worth keeping an eye on. Just finished his freshman year. Both of those dudes throw like 99. So a couple of arms to keep an eye on that LSU is going to be in on in the transfer portal. So we'll see. Not done till it's done, but we'll see. All right. All right, smash the like button if you would. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. LeBron, Sonny said LeBron. I don't think Jay Johnson's interested in LeBron. Like, 40-year-old LeBron probably not going to do great at getting low, getting in it, getting in the backside and fielding ground balls. Too big to be a catcher. Maybe stand at first base, slug some homers. No. Anyway. Someone suggested that I should do 8 pool jumps for Justin LeBron from Alabama. That's a better point. If he goes in the portal, they'll be in on him. If he goes in the portal. Someone suggested that I should do 8 pool jumps for the 8 national championships. And someone just a second ago, some person said, Matt, did you jump in the pool yet? I've jumped in the pool twice, by the way. I've already had one wardrobe change. My second wardrobe. I'm soaking wet right now. You can't really tell it, but I'm soaking wet because I've already jumped in the pool in this. I'll do it again if y'all want. I'll tell you what. If I get 50 straight people that were like, pool, just comment pool, I'll do it again. And if you're listening to this on podcast, my goodness, what are you doing? You got to be like, I love our podcast listeners. But you gotta come back. You gotta come on YouTube. All right, y'all are gonna try to make this happen with the 50 pool comments. All right, y'all want to see it? Okay. So, all right, here's what's gonna happen. I've done 2 pool jumps. I owe you 6 more for all the natties. Jeff Katz said you set yourself up for that one. I'm okay with it. Wouldn't have done it if I didn't want it, if we're being very candid. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you 5 right now. That'll get us to 7. I'm going to go in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. I'm going to give you 5 more to get us to 7. And then when we sign off, I'm signing off with an 8th pool jump. Okay? I'm a little worried right now because these shorts are old. Before I lost a bunch of weight. And I don't want it to go badly. You know what I mean? So I'm going to tie them really tight. And I'm going to loop over the turn over the band there. That'd be real. Now, some of y'all are saying pond. I'm not going in the pond. By the way, the pond's only like thigh high. The water in the pond's only like thigh high. So, like, that's not a great option. Like, I can't do that. And besides, it's gross. Not gonna do that. All right. So, here we go. I'm gonna give you. I've done 2. I'm gonna give you 5 consecutive right now. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. And then when we sign off here, I'm gonna give you the final one in honor of the 2025 national champions. Our neighbors are out here. Dogs are barking. Fired up for it. Ready? Do y'all want swan dives? Do you want cannonballs? How about we do a variety? Swan dives, belly flops. All right. Let's make this happen. Here we go. Go Tigers! 3. 4. 5. All right. All right. We're up to 7. I got 1 more for. Go Tigers! Got neighbors across the way. They don't let me know what's going on. Being really honest with you, the guy probably knows. Go Tigers! He's fired up. He's wearing a light blue shirt. He don't know what's going on. Guarantee you. I don't know that guy. Probably a really good dude. I do want to bet. Hang on. You know, the only thing we're missing here today, friends, seriously, like the only thing we're missing is a bottle of champagne. We should be celebrating with a bottle of champagne. So next year, when LSU wins it all, again, when LSU wins it all again next year, I'll bust open a bottle of champagne. Instead of doing the Van Winkle, we'll go champs. All right. This bud's for you. All right. Here we go. You know what? I'll tell you this also. I'm not sure if Zach, David Locke, the Locked On folks, will be displeased with me pool jumping, doing an hour and a half show, drinking whole Rip 10, cold Bud Lights, smoking Bocock Brothers cigars. I mean, it's freaking official cigar LSU. Let's go. I don't know. This is making me wish I had a pool cutting the grass right now. I don't think I'll ever own a house without one again. It's amazing. All right. What else we got, y'all? Fire away. I got one more pool jump for the Natties. I got an eighth for this championship team for Anthony Eyanson, Kate Anderson, Chase Shores, Bear Jones, Derek Curiel, Monster Milam, Old Danny Dickinson, Luis Hernandez. I got one more in me for all y'all. Okay, Brad Baker. Talk about next year. Okay. Let's do it. So let's run through. I might need my notepad here. Pen. To look at who's back and who's gone. So as we kind of run, not gonna lie to y'all, look, cloud cover is really nice right now. Like, it's gorgeous out here right now. Normally, about this time of day, when the sun's right over there, beating right in my face, it's hot out here. 623, little cloud cover is gorgeous right now. It feels great. So, of course, when you look at your rotation, you're losing Anderson, you're losing Eyanson, you're losing Shores, who I think Shores will end up. Shores, to me, is going to be the most fascinating guy in this draft. If he can climb all the way up into round one. Convos I've had with scouts in the past few weeks is that he's probably a round two guy, just because he hadn't thrown enough. But throw 101 consistently. This is the TMB said Shores coming back. I can't see that reality. I mean, he could, because of the Tommy John. He lost a year, so he could come back and still have leverage. But a dude that throws 101, there's going to be a major league team that's going to go, we'll take that guy and we'll give him $2 million, and he's going to sign, and he should go. He should. He could come back next year and try to be a weekend guy and maybe be a top half of round one guy instead of $2 million. Maybe he makes $3.5, $4 million, but chances are he's not going to take that risk when someone coming off when he's already had Tommy John, that he's going to go. So I think like it would be a massive, massive upset if Chase Shores is back. Like, Shores is going to be gone. Jacob Myers is going to be gone. It's just not, you just got to look at reality. So this is an interesting one. Anthony said, what about Gavin Guidry next year? So, like, let's look at this thing, like, plausibly, okay? Next year, you've got Kason Evans, who you're expecting to be a weekend rotation guy, okay? Evans, you anticipate being in your rotation. You've got William Schmidt, who you can roll your eyes now, but remember, a year ago, Kason Evans' ERA in conference play was 27. He was great in the pre-conference and midweeks. He couldn't get SEC hitters out. And in one offseason, boom, now he's going to be probably the number one pick in the draft. So Evans, Schmidt, remember, you've got Rizzi, you've got Cooper Williams, all from this team. We'll see what happens with Jaden Newt as well, who is draftable because he's been out of high school for 3 years now, and throws 97, and someone may take him in round 8, give him $750,000, $800K, and he may sign. So you've got all those guys I just mentioned, and I would bet my life, Jay Johnson is going into the portal. Oh, by the way, Devin Sheeran. Remember Devin Sheeran, who was part of last year's portal class from Mount St. Mary's, who's a giant, throws 100, who tore his ACL, who right now is pitching in Summer League and tearing it up. Devin Sheeran's back. So Evans, Schmidt, Rizzi, Williams, Newt, Sheeran, 6 potentially back next year that are all anticipating having the opportunity to earn a spot in the rotation. And you are going to go in the portal and get somebody. Like every year Jay's been here, he's gone into the transfer portal and gotten a starting pitcher. So whether it was Skeens or Hurd or Jump, Holman, this year Eyanson, Sheeran, Cowan, who's another guy we got to mention, who Cowan's going to have a decision to make. Like, I don't know that Cowan's a dude that, like, someone will take Cowan, but does he sign? Does he come back? What does he want to do? That's a good question. You know, that's a guy worth keeping an eye on as well. So, like, Evans, Schmidt, Rizzi, Williams, Newt, Sheeran, Cowan, like, that's 7 plus 1 or 2 portal guys. Like, you have about 8, 9 guys that are going to be vying for a rotation job next year. Where does Gavin Guidry fit in, having not pitched for a year? Like, that's my giant question. Some of y'all are asking about Connor Ware and Connor Benj. Like, Benj didn't pitch in the last Connor Ware was someone they were very high on this year, man. But he had a bad outing. Connor Ware had a bad outing, didn't pitch again. It was against, I'll tell you what it is right now. I'm looking it up. Connor Ware had a bad outing. He walked 4 dudes in the opening loss to South Carolina. The 6-5 loss in game 1 at South Carolina. He walked 4 guys, didn't pitch again. Didn't pitch in the rest of that weekend. Didn't pitch the SC tournament, regional, supers, or Omaha. Didn't pitch again. So, I mean, like, you know, and Cajun of the Core said, talk offensively. Whoops, here it is. I will, but someone asked about Guidry. So my point is about Guidry. Guidry's got a decision to make. Like, if you're Gavin Guidry, do you come back to be a reliever again, which he could, but chances are he wants to be a starter. And there's no sure thing that he's going to be a starter coming back next year. Like, we have to be I just rattle off all those names. So if he's looking, like, realizing, okay, it's my draft year, like, I got to go somewhere where I can show I can start and extend. Does he go in the portal and leave? I don't know. By the way, I do not know the answer to that. I'm not telling you I know anything. I don't. I do not know. I'm just playing this out logically. So does he come back as a bullpen arm, trying to be a starter? Does he go somewhere where he can go to do it what long-haired outfielder who went to Penn State? Blanking. Long-haired outfielder who went to Penn State. What he did was to say, I got to go somewhere where I can play every day because I need to show scouts I can play every. Thank you, Paxton Kling. And he did great at Penn State this year, but he had to be in the lineup every day. See, at LSU, it's different because it's not like minor league ball where no matter what, you're going to be in the lineup every day because they're more interested in developing the player than they are in winning. At LSU, you have to win. Jay Johnson has to win. So he's going to play the dudes that are going to help him win. So it might be a thing where Guidry goes, okay, it's my last year. Do I need to go somewhere where I'm going to be in their rotation and get an opportunity to start 15, 17 games? Maybe. Or does he come back, try to be a starter, maybe ends up as a reliever? I don't know. I'll tell you this. I've also talked to scouts. Me personally, this isn't something I've heard secondhand. I have had firsthand conversation with scouts who have said they would draft Gavin Guidry still as a shortstop because they believe he's got the athleticism and arm to be an infielder at the next level and not a pitcher. Remember, he was a shortstop. He was drafted out of high school as a shortstop. So you may have a situation where someone drafts him just on his ability to do that. So we'll see. This is an interesting question. Charlie Piku said, do you think Jay receives or considers an MLB offer? No, I do not. On either front. I don't think he receives or considers an MLB offer. Typically, the path to being an MLB manager is either through the minor leagues or being a major league bench or pitching coach and getting your promotion that way. You don't typically see guys get hired from college to be managers. And I don't think Jay Johnson has any interest in going to be a bench coach in Pittsburgh to try to work his way up. I mean, he's won 2 national championships. He's building a gigantic legacy here. It's the job he wants. It's the job he's committed to. I genuinely don't think he's doing that at all, ever, or would. Not say he couldn't. Mason said Guidry would never leave LSU. You got to check that, bro. Like, you think your loyalty to LSU passes on to every player that comes through here? It's just not the reality. And they may love LSU and may want to be at LSU. But ultimately, you get to a point where you got to realize, I'm looking at my baseball future. How do I get to the show, right? So what's going to give me the best opportunity to be drafted, next level, all that stuff? Like, that's the real question for Guidry. So we'll see. All right. How about the Tigers, y'all? Not going to lie. I love being here. I love being here talking to y'all. Love being at my home. Love drinking Pappy. Rip 10 out of the bottle. Love having a cigar on the back patio on a beautiful Sunday, celebrating number 8 for LSU. I am a little FOMO. I'd love to be in Omaha right now celebrating, man. That would be huge. To be at Rocco's or the Blatt or Barrett's, any of those places celebrating. That'd be amazing. Couple of good ones. Debo said, is Fry coming back? I think yes. I think Ethan Fry will come back. Here's the reason. Ethan Fry needs to show scouts he can play a position. The hitting for average this year helped him tremendously, but he's got to come back and show, even at 6'6", his ability to run, great athlete, he still has to show the ability to play a position, and I'm not talking about first base. So if he comes back, it would be interesting, like, would he play first? Or, and by the way, if Ethan Fry comes back and plays first base, that doesn't dramatically improve his draft stock. I mean, if Ethan Fry comes back and plays left field, like, could you hide him in left, moving Curiel to center? Like, could he get out there and become a really good left fielder? That's the thing that for Ethan Fry could elevate his draftability. Like Jared Jones, love Bear. We all do. Team guy, all the stuff. Jared Jones, his draftability, like his prospects, lowers because he's kind of viewed as a power hitting first base DH. Like, it's not like you can find dudes that can stand on first, catch the ball, and hit homers, or just bat, strike out 3 times, and hit homers. You can find it. So it's just, they're not at a premium. This is a great question. Scott Smith, hat tip to you. Scott Smith, you win the gold star, because Stanfield, I think, is the real question. Stanfield is this year's Braswell. He's a borderline draftable guy, but you've already planned as if he's done. So next year, they're planning on moving Curiel to center because Stanfield's going to be gone. But Stanfield is a borderline draftable prospect. Like last year, they thought Braswell would be gone. So they went and got Dickinson, and they went and got Reeves. Remember? Like, they thought Braswell would be gone. Well, Braswell went undrafted, and he returned. Well, what do? You can't cut transfers. Like, in this age of the portal, you can't cut a transfer. Like, you'll never get transfers again. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Stanfield. Like, some of you are asking about Larson. I would be really surprised if Larson was back. I don't know. I want to be clear, like, so clear. I do not know. I would love Larson to be back. He's a good outfielder. He can hit from the left side. I would love for Larson to be back. I don't know. I'm just going, okay, Curiel's back. Brown's back. They got to find a position for Fry. If he returns, you're going to go in the portal. Like, you're going to have an incoming freshman class. He is this year's Kling, where it's his draft year. He's got to find a place where he's going to be in the lineup in Sharpie 56 times. That may not happen here. So he may go leave. I don't know, but that's a good question. Larson will not platoon at first. That's no disrespect, Debo. I don't mean to be. He's not playing first base. Like, he's not. Ashton Larson's not coming back to LSU to play first base. Ashton Larson's going into his draft year. He's going, where can I get 200 at-bats and play in the outfield 56 times? That's what Larson's looking for. And if that's not LSU, he's going to go. Oh, outfield. Sorry. My apologies. Raymond said, Matt, this may be a dumb question. By the way, there are no dumb questions. Ask your questions. Why is Curiel penciled in to play center and not Brown? I don't think that's a dumb question at all, because quite honestly, Brown's a better outfielder than Curiel is. He's faster. He's got a better glove. He's bigger. He's a better athlete. I completely agree with you. I would play Brown in center. I'll also tell you that the one I'm going to be holding my breath on for next year is Jake Brown. Y'all know, listen, there's 2,500 of you hanging out with me. We've been here for almost 2 hours now. You watch this show every day. I love you. You know how I feel about it. Brown should be in your lineup every day. Jake Brown is a big leaguer. He's the best. He's 6'2", 200 pounds, hits for power to all field, electric arm, fastest guy on the team, best athlete. Jake Brown is a big leaguer. The fact that he was platooning this year is, I mean, there's no other program in America where that guy would have ever been out of the lineup. So that's an interesting one. Like, what is his exit interview look like? And I don't know. I'm not privy to that. I don't know. Like, when I know stuff, I'll tell you. No idea. But that's one where I go, that dude's going into his draft year. He's a 5-tool guy. He's a big leaguer. Jake Brown has to be in the lineup every day. And if there's any way that wouldn't happen here next year, does he look around? Again, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Again, I'm being candid with you. I don't know. But it's one of those things where, again, like someone said, Brown can't hit lefties. You're missing the point. You are missing the point. Like, this is not football. In football, teams take a guy in the first round and expect him to be plug-and-play starters day one. In baseball, they're drafting projectability. It's the biggest difference that most fans don't pay attention. I'm not trying to be disparaging, but like, most fans think with a football mindset, that's not what happens in baseball. They look for projectability. Nobody thinks, I'm going to draft this guy in July, and next year when we have, when pitchers and catchers report, and then we have opening day in March, that dude's in the lineup. That doesn't happen. They're looking at projectability. Who's the guy that in 2, 3 is going to be an everyday starter for me? Who has the skill set that we can grow and develop and mold into a starter? Like, that's what major league organizations are looking for. That's why Jake Brown is a projectable athlete. He's 6'2", 200, runs like a deer, great glove. He's got a cannon. He's got the best arm on the team. Showed he can hit for average. He can hit for power to all fields. It's a dude who's a sophomore in college that already is a 5-tool guy. So, like, he is a projectable player. So, like, that's a guy that needs to be on the field every single day wherever he goes, because he will be a first-round pick next year. Somebody is going to take him. Go Tigers and Monsters better than Terrio. Remains to be seen, brother. That's my guy, and I love him. But Terrio is also a guy that was all SEC, started from it literally his first day on campus at second base as a sophomore, junior, started at shortstop, and then played 8 or 9 big league seasons. Like, Milam's 5'5". He's got a lot to prove still. And the odds of a 5'5", 5'6" dude making it to the show are against him. Not saying he won't, but the odds are against him. Because, again, you're looking at projectability. If Shores comes back next year, we'll be in Omaha. I think LSU should be in Omaha anyway. I mean, look at what you have coming back anyway. Megan Terrio. Speaking of Terrio, wasn't he supposed to jump in the pool with you? He was. But here's the thing about Terrio, and I love him dearly. One of my favorite people in life. Like, literally one of my best friends in the world. I've told Ryan Terrio this many times. His biggest flaw as a human is he doesn't want to disappoint people. So, like, he'll say yes to everything, even if he has no intention of going. So, like, hey, you want to jump in the pool? Yeah, I'll jump in the pool. No intention of jumping in the pool. Homebody. He's sitting at his house right now, I guarantee you. Like, he's sitting at his house, watched the game. We were texting, loving life, just relaxing. No intention of coming over here, jumping in the pool ever. Isn't Terrio 5'5"? Terrio's actually just under 6 foot. We joke with him a lot, but he's just shorter than me. Like, barely, but just shorter than me. All right. JT, Aaron Beatty. Everyday catcher next year. Absolutely. Aaron Beatty is a guy who was a... Kate Aaron Beatty thought he would be a... It's so wild, y'all. I mean, to get it, we're at 2 hours now, but LSU's Natty's 2 hours old. We're talking about next year. The blessing and curse of LSU baseball, right? But Aaron Beatty is a guy coming out of Texas who was going to be a high school signee. Struggled with the bat as a senior, saw his draft stock drop a little bit, had a high number, stuck to it, showed up on campus. Aaron Beatty will be your starter in the next 2 years. He is a super high ceiling guy. Yes, should be. Tanner Reeves coming back. That's another one that I don't think does. Like, there's no guarantee he plays. Probably looking for somewhere where he's going to play. Like, that's one where if Braswell didn't come back, Reeves is your starting third baseman. Braswell comes back, which they didn't expect. So, anyway. Connor, talk legacy. Has Jay surpassed Paul? Well, he's won 2 natties, and this is a program where you are undoubtedly defined by what you do in Omaha. I think you're joking, but yes. I mean, Paul Maneri is a guy who deserves, he's a Hall of Famer in every Hall of Fame possible. A good man as well. I love Coach Maneri. He was great to me. And I want great things for him. And when he's even said it, when his career at South Carolina ends, he's coming back to Baton Rouge he will live the rest of his life here. He is inherently tied to LSU. And sometimes, man, like, things don't go your way. I mean, 2013 and 2015 LSU are 2 of the best teams in the history of this program. That is not debatable. Like, those 2 teams were absolutely incredible to watch. They just didn't get it done in Omaha. And it's the nature of this program, and it's unfortunate. Like, 2013 is what I think about with Aaron Nola all the time. Aaron Nola, 2013 LSU was 23-7 in conference play. 23-7 in the SEC. 2015 LSU was 21-8. Those are 2 of the best teams in the history of this program. And Scott Perkins said 97 was the best ever. No, it wasn't. No, Scott, it wasn't. 97 actually was the least talented team, probably, of all the national championship teams. They played in the Gorilla Ball era, where they hit 188 homers, and that was awesome to watch. But look at 97. Like, you didn't have big leaguers on the 97 team. Larson was a first-round pick and a big leaguer. Like, that was it. You didn't have big leaguers in 97. 2000, 09, 23, littered with big leaguers. We'll see what history writes with 23, but like 2000, y'all, Ryan Jorgensen, big leaguer. Brad Hawpe, big leaguer. Mike Fontenot, big leaguer. Ryan Theriot, big leaguer. Brian Tallett, big leaguer. Brian Wilson, big leaguer. Shane Human, big leaguer. 2000 was loaded with big leaguers. 09, same thing. I mean, run through the list. Matuk, Coleman, Renato. Like, they were, Jared Mitchell would have been, but for injury. Like, loaded with big leaguers. 23, we'll see what history says. But, like, 97 was not the most talented team. 97 was one of the least talented teams that LSU had. 91 was incredible. When you look at the pitchers, OJ, Bird, Sorotka, Green, Mouton, I mean, Sheets, Rios, big leaguers all over the place. 97 was the least. They just hit a buttload of homers in the Gorilla Ball era. And they were awesome. It was so much fun to watch. I love that team, but that wasn't the best team. Good question. Chef said, where's Dardar playing? Interviewed Dardar on AFR, and he said he is most comfortable at second base, but can play first, second, or third. So it's going to be a thing where they're going to look at the roster and go, where does he fit, and plug him in. Matt, what's your favorite moment from this year? I'll go with the first thing that popped into my mind, outside of winning the national championship, obviously. I mean, this is it, winning the Natty, but the walk-off against Tennessee. 1:17 a.m., I was sitting in my office right there getting ready to do Locked On, and Jared Jones pumped a 450-foot homer. I don't know what, I think it was 450-foot homer to dead center. Amazing. I mean, and it's Tennessee. Watching Tony V and his tiny little pee-pee be all sad. That'd be my favorite if I had to guess. All right. What else y'all got? I got one more pool jump. For number 8. 2,300 of y'all hanging on. Please smash the like button if you haven't yet. If I go to this episode on YouTube and there's not at least 2,000 likes, I'm going to be so disappointed. 2 hours. I've pool jumped 7 times already. I'm drinking Van Winkle out of the bottle. I've got ice cold Bud Lights. I've got my Bocock Brothers cigars. I've got my Evermore water. I'm out here. I've got my Our Lady of the Lake shirt, my parish hat. I'm out here doing the Lord's work. The Lord, my wife's mad at me because she's got to go to the store and Drew's in there. Like, but I don't care. I'm like, LSU won. This happened in the history of the world. Even if you just go to the start of college baseball. Since LSU, the first ever LSU athletic sporting event was in 1893. LSU played Tulane in baseball. First ever LSU athletic sporting event. Let's just go to 1893. In 132 years, 132 years. Let's not go all time in the history of the world. Let's just look at 132 years. In 132 years, hey Siri, what's 132 times 365?
132 times 365 is 48,180.
Okay. 48,180 days. 48,180 days. Hey Siri, what's 8 divided by 48,180? Hey Siri, what's 8 divided by 48,180? 0.000166. That's the percentage of days we've had the opportunity to do this. In nearly 50,000 days, there have been 8 days where LSU has won a national championship in baseball. This is one of them. What am I doing? I'm sitting right here doing this, and I'm thrilled to do it because I love this baseball team. I love it. But I need 2,000 likes on YouTube. And if I don't have 2,000 likes on YouTube, I'm going to be really upset. All I'm asking you to do is take your thumb and just go, boop, thumbs up. That's it. That's all I'm asking you to do. That's it. All right. Now, some of y'all are asking me to jump off the roof. I ain't doing that. Like, I've had 2 beers and a couple of swigs out of that bottle. Even if I had drank that whole bottle, I ain't jumping off the roof. That's stupid. That's so good. Shout out Gulf South. This is such a good comment. I'm going to go get it. Hang on. Is this what Bama football fans felt like under Saban? Talking next year, 2 hours after winning the title. Yeah. Because that's what LSU baseball is. That's the standard Skip Bertman set that Smoke LaValle couldn't carry, that Paul Maneri did, and that Jay Johnson is hopefully accelerating. And by the way, can I say, this is how I want to end. This is how I want to end. This is how I want to end. Skip was there today in Omaha. Skip's 87. I was there for his 80th birthday. I want to tell y'all, man, Skip Bertman has been amazing to me. There's no reason for him whatsoever to be kind and generous and gracious and all that stuff to me. I didn't play for him. I'm just a guy half his age who is in the media. He's been in our studio a ton, doing his podcast, commercials, a lot of different stuff, and he's always been awesome. He's been super gracious. Like, if ever there was a guy who could have a sense of entitlement, it's him. Won 5 national titles, the greatest coach in the history of his sport. He's literally, there's a street on campus named after him. The stadium, the field is named after him. He's revered. But if you saw his interactions with me, the interaction, I've had many, thankfully. I'm super grateful for it. It's probably the thing in my career that I'm most grateful for is the opportunity to have talked to, interviewed, gotten to know people who are LSU legends, who I can consider colleagues, friends, whatever. I got to sit down for an hour with Billy Cannon in 2015. I mean, I cherish that. I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky. Like, yo, I got to sit down with Billy Cannon for an hour. Me, Billy Cannon talking, just the two of us for an hour. Like, I'm so lucky. It's never lost on me. For Skip this year, he's 87, obviously moving slower. His mind is sharp as ever, man. His body's slowing, and Miss Sandy passed this year, as I think everybody knows. And I know there's like, this isn't told a bunch, but there's like a lot of former players that go see him every day. They go to his house. They have lunch with him. They're like, everyone's aware, like, of how much everyone loves him and what he means and everything. And Jay Johnson said, if you were watching the post game on it, so we started this immediately when the broadcast left. Jay was asked about what it meant having Skip there and said, he's my best friend. He's my mentor. When Miss Sandy died, Jay, I'm getting a little emotional. I'm sorry. So how you're getting old when you get emotional talking about things? Because just life matters. You just realize life matters. It's why I didn't do a post-game show last night live. I was doing a life thing that meant way more than baseball. But Jay said he was talking about Skip being there and how much it meant to him. And, Skip got on a plane today and flew to Omaha and sat up in the suite with Scott Woodward. And I was told by someone who was actually in that suite, I don't need to mention the person, but I think that person probably watching or will see this. But said, Skip insisted he was going to sit outside in the seats to watch the game. He wasn't sitting in the air conditioning. He was sitting in the seats to watch the game. And for him to be there today was, you just think about this full circle thing. Maybe I do. Maybe it's just, sorry. I'm sorry. I know I'm rambling a little bit. I'm sorry. But I think y'all probably get it. Where Skip showed up here in 1984, and the old joke was that students would go to the box to study because it was quiet, And you think about what he built, and he built it. And he'll tell you the players and the assistants and that, but he built it. And he had help. But it would have been so easy for him today to be like, I'm 87, I'm just going to watch it on TV. But he got on a plane, and he flew to Omaha, and he went to Charles Schwab Field and was there to watch the program that he built and young people he never coached that weren't even born when he coached his last game. Think about that. Skip coached his last game in 2001. These players weren't born when Skip coached his last game. But he was there because he has love for him, them, the coaches, the program. It was awesome, man. It was awesome. I loved seeing him there, man. And I think we all realize. Melanie said pool. I got one more. I haven't forgotten. I know I got one more. I don't know, man. Baseball is a game. I don't know. I'm just being a little emotional right now. Baseball is a game that's a game between fathers and sons, and it's always been that. That's what made that's what made Field of Dreams awesome. The last scene where Dad, can we have a catch? Man, this guy's like, is Matt drunk? No, I'm not drunk, man. I'm feeling a lot of stuff right now. Like I love this baseball team. I love this program. I love the memories I have watching this team and this program, man. I do. Like, it's a giant part of my life. So these days are never lost on me. I have such vivid memories, man. Like, vivid memories being a kid, going to the old box and buying the 50-cent program and chasing foul balls and going and bringing the foul ball to the stand and getting hey, come here, and they give you like a candy bar or an autograph. I have these autographed bats from 1991 with the Piccadilly logo on them, signed by the 91 team. Hey, come here, and here's my little boy. I know we'll never play baseball, but I don't care. Come here, Daddy's happy. Come here. He doesn't know. He just sees me emotional. He doesn't know why I'm emotional. I'm sure my dad's watching too right now. My dad has supported me forever. You know what I mean? He's the greatest dad ever. Just the greatest example of a father. And so my dad took us to the box all these years. And Skip. So it was a giant, it's like a giant full circle thing, man. Like, Skip built it. Jay has such respect for him and love and admiration for him. Not to say any other coach didn't, but you realize Skip's 87 and Miss Sandy died, and so you realize mortality and all that stuff. And then I'm watching that today, and my son's about to be 11, and anyway, this is awesome. Great day. Great day. Tigers won another, and they're going to gear up and get ready for number 9, and can't wait to see it when it happens. And, really cool. Awesome day. I mean, number 8, y'all. Number 8. Like, geez. 8 national championships. And there was never a doubt. Like, I woke up today, y'all, like, not even with a shred of question in my brain, like, if LSU was going to win this game today. Like, of course LSU was going to win this game today. I mean, you got the better team, you got the better coach, the fans were there, ready. It was Eyanson on the mound. Of course this was going to happen. I did this podcast, this Locked On crossover with Dave Schultz from Locked On Sunbelt, who's a friend. I love Dave. Like, I've known Dave a long time, and I respect him tremendously. And I picked LSU in 2, and he picked Coastal in 3, which of course he did. But I didn't pick LSU in 2 because I'm a homer. I picked LSU in 2 because LSU had Cade Anderson and Anthony Eyanson and Chase Shores throwing 100, and we didn't even see Case and Evans. And you had Stephen Milam and Jared Jones and Jake Brown, and go down the list. Like, what did you think was going to happen in this? Like, what did you think was going to happen? It was undeniable. I was going to be sitting here drinking Rip 10 out of the bottle. About to do my last pool jump. Man. 8 titles. Like, realize 8 titles? 8. I've been alive to see every one of them, man. They're not just alive, like I remember every one of them. Like, I could tell you the entire 91 starting lineup. Gary Email, Johnny Teleshia, Andy Sheets, Chris Mook. Now I'm doing it. I'm blanking on one. Mouton, Cordani, Rios. I mean, Bird, OJ, Green, like, amazing. This is amazing. 8 times they've climbed the mountain, man. Awesome. I'm so grateful for y'all. What a fun year, man. It was candidly, I know we're over 2 hours now, and I'm so grateful to y'all hanging out. There's 2,000 people still here. That was who am I missing, man? I'm so sad now. Oh, no, it's Tookie Johnson. Oh, my God. Tookie Johnson. How did I miss Tookie Johnson? Oh, I'm so embarrassed. Tookie Johnson. Your middle infield was Andy Sheets and Tookie Johnson. Oh, I cannot believe who's local and coach high school locally. Oh, I can't believe I missed Tookie Johnson. Anyway, thank God they came to me. Tookie, if you're watching, I'm sorry. How did I miss Tookie Johnson? Tookie Johnson. Name's Tookie. How could you forget Tookie Johnson? Anyway. Pat Garrity was great. I got to know Pat Garrity later in life. I'm sorry about starters. Like, y'all, Jim Hawthorne's call. Ground ball to Mook. Thank you and good night. That was, or early in his career, that was Hawthorne's sign-off call. Thank you and good night. Thank you and good night. I mean, when Kenny Kleinpeter had an actual organ in the old box, and he would play when Johnny Telechia came out. Every player had a song. When Johnny goes marching on, when Johnny goes marching on. That was Johnny Telechia, first baseman on the 91 team. I mean, Todd Walker, Batman. Batman. That was, they play Batman whenever Todd Walker came up to the plate. Anyway. Just awesome. I'm I don't know. I don't know how to end this. I was going to do one more pool jump for number 8 for these 23 Tigers that hopefully, you know what I hope? I hope this doesn't make me emotional again. And I don't ever cry, man. Like, I cry at maybe funerals, but that's about it. Erica will tell you if she came out here. Like, I just don't ever cry. Everything we went through with Drew. I mean, watching my son. Yeah, I'll be done. I'm about to wrap up. Yeah, for sure. I'll be done. Like, everything we went through with Drew, I never let her see me cry, ever. Probably cried one time. I remember the day. Here's when we found out his first heart surgery didn't take, and he had to have a second. 2 heart surgeries within 11 days of each other. So I don't do that often. I'm not saying it's a sign of weakness or anything. It's just do you. Everybody's different. It's one of those days, man. Hit me a little bit. I'm fired up for it. It's just family. I mean, it's just. Sorry, I just read a comment that said the other family is us. It's just sports, but sports matter a lot, and people. It's communal. It brings people who are total strangers together. Golf South. I don't remember what I had for lunch 4 days ago. You spent up the starting lineup for 91. But Golf South, you don't understand, man. Like, that's what I try to tell people. I love this team and this program. I love baseball. It's such a part of me. Like, I get it. Everybody here loves football. But, like, anyway. Hey, everyone's saying prayers for your son. We're good. He's 11 now. We're good. We're good. We're really good. He's amazing. He's the happiest little kid in life. It's just about letting him reach his greatest, whatever his greatest will be. Steven, Matt better jump sooner. His wife is going to be pissed. Yeah. All right. I think I had something else to say. I don't know what it was. Doesn't matter. But I love the 91 team. I have memories of every team. I guess in this moment, I just feel so overwhelmed to have seen this 8 times and have memories of all 8. Like, it's not like if you're an Army football fan and they won titles in the 40s and you're like, you can look at the flags and wonder, like, what was that like in the 40s? You know what I mean? Like, they're I just have such vivid memories of all of them. You know, 93, my parents picked me up from KC camp. We drove home, watched the game. I watched Brett Laxton strike out 16. 96, I remember that game. Laying on my bed with a heating pad on my back, watching Warren Morris hit the homer. My dad and my sister were in the den when he hit the homer, and everybody in the house was like crazy. 97. I mean, Doug Thompson's strikeout to end it. It was not a strike, Doug. I love you so much, but that was not a strike. I'm glad they called it, but it was not a strike. I mean, I was in the first row of right field in 2000 when Cressy singled to score Terrio. It was one of the greatest weeks of my life. To this day, one of the greatest weeks of my life. I spent the whole week in Omaha, watched every game of that World Series, and my team won it. It was incredible. One of my best friends in life, who's no longer with us, was there. Me, my dad, my brother, and Ben. And I just latch onto those memories, because you don't ever want them to fail or leave you, 2009, I was at my parents' house watching it with my dad. When Coleman recorded the last out, 23. When LSU finished it in 23 with Gavin Guidry, the strikeout to finish it, right in there. Came out here and did a pool jump and did a post-game show, and I'll do it again. Hope to do one next year, too. So, anyway, all right. I got one more pool jump for you. Let's do this. Let's raise your glass one more time. Whatever you got. Whatever you got. Raise your glass to the national champs. 8-time national champ LSU Tigers, but not just to this team. Yes to this team, this 2025 team, which was amazing. They persevered through so much. Maybe not the top-level talent of 23, but a team that was a team that persevered through adversity and won. So cheers to them. Cheers to the Tigers. Cheers to the champs. Go Tigers. We got a pool jump for number 8. One more pool jump for number 8, y'all. Here we go. Go Tigers! Hey. All right. 8 pool jumps. 8 national champions. Amazing. And much respect to every one of you who stuck around and watched this with us and hung out. Couldn't be more fired up. Congrats to the national champs. Congrats to Jay Johnson. Man, all these players who their legacies are written. You know what I mean? Like idiots like me who were in the media who bother these players for years to come on their shows and whatnot. I'll be bothering them forever. And I'm excited about it. Let's get out of here, y'all. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you would. If you're on podcast, please subscribe on your favorite podcast app. Rate us, leave a review. Hey, let a friend know. We're here every day. Locked on LSU, your team every day.